It's not about being perfect. It's not about even being good. It's about being human, and being human means that you're constantly redoing, reevaluating, turning back, doing the things better than you did before.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
Welcome back to the party, everybody. Dustin Harris hanging out. I am standing on the podcast treadmill. It's a little bit broken right now. I think I'm too fat for it or something, but we're going to stand here. We're going to do a quick mini-sode for you. First, I want to remind you that we're sponsored by a great company out there called Synapse. Synapse, of course, is what I use to support my adjustments. And folks, I'm telling you anymore, the old way of doing things, the old rule of thumb is not working. You need to be updating your practices and supporting what it is that you do. Check out Synapse by going to spark4appraisers.com. Again, spark4appraisers.com. Wanted to share with you maybe a little bit of hope today. I know some of you are down in the dumps right now with regard to volume and the way things have changed. I kid you not, folks, I was on a continuing ed class. It was a live class, but it was online recently. And the instructor asked about 5 people, so not the whole class, but specifically just pulled out 5 people and asked them, when's the last time you did an appraisal? And one individual mentioned it had been 2.5 months, not days, not weeks, my friends, certainly not years, thankfully, but 2.5 months since she had done an appraisal. And I was kind of flabbergasted because, yeah, granted, things are a little bit slow. In fact, the instructor challenged her a little bit and said, "Did you say months?" And she said, "Yes." And he said, "Are you on a freeze or a hiatus or something?" She goes, "No, it's just been slow." I thought, holy smokes. Yeah, that's not slow. That's dead, D-E-A-D. That's scary. And I know it's a struggle for many of you right now because of the cyclical nature of the appraisal world. But I want to give you a little bit of hope. And I want to start by talking about human nature. Human nature is an interesting thing to me. It's one of the subjects that I loved in school. Sociology was one of my favorite classes that I took in college. I just love the whole psychology of the human mind and how it works. So you'll hear that theme come up frequently here on the Appraiser Coach podcast because it's something I'm interested in. I'm interested in how people act, why they do the things that they do, how they think, what human nature drives us to do. I'm interested in it for myself. I'm interested in it for my clients. I'm interested in it for my listeners. I'm interested in it just in my day-to-day life. For me, it's an interesting thing to watch how people work. And one of the things that I have noticed, and by the way, none of this is scientific. When I talk about sociology, I took one class, okay, one. I am not a sociologist. I am not a doctor in any sense. So take this all with a grain of salt. This is just my personal observations. But one of the things that I find is interesting is the up and down nature of people. And when I mean people, I mean our attitudes, our day-to-day, right? When you meet somebody on the street or you meet somebody for the first time, it's very natural to say, "Hey, I'm Dustin, how are you?" And our reaction is typically good or fine. And let's be honest with you, folks, sometimes we're not good or fine. It's the polite thing to do to say, "Fine." I mean, what are you going to do? Well, actually, my dog died yesterday, and I'm not getting into appraisal work, and I drank myself to sleep last night again. Those are not the kind of answers that we give to the "Hey, how are you?" question. But folks, I want to share with you an experience I had last night with my son and give you a little bit of hope. But first, I want to pause and remind you that we're sponsored by some hopeful. Yeah, did you see what I did there? Hopeful software. And this software will allow you to be able to be more effective at what you do because as an appraiser, folks, you can't just have opinions anymore, okay? That's the old way of doing things. The old lick your finger, stick it in the air and say, "I think it's worth, I think the adjustment should be, and based on my 30 years experience." Yeah, none of that works anymore, folks. You need, N-E-E-D, need, I want to emphasize that, support for your adjustments. And let's make it easy on you, shall we? For those of you who are like, well, Dustin, I don't really know how to do that. Don't worry about it. Yes, you need to learn how to do it, but Synapse will help you with it. Check them out by going to spark4appraisers.com. Again, spark4, F-O-R, appraisers.com. All right, folks, welcome back to the program. My name is Dustin Harris. We're talking a little bit about human nature. I just want to give you a little bit of hope out there because I know it's a little bit doomy and gloomy, if you will. Appraisers are struggling right now, and it can be hard to keep our attitudes up. Last night, I had a 2.5 hour, let's call it a conversation with my 16-year-old son. He does not listen to this program, so I can speak freely here. And of course, I'm going to protect his innocence as well. I'm not going to go into detail. But let's just say he was having a rough day. His mother and I had found out that he'd been a little bit less than honest on a couple of things, and we approached him, and to his credit, he fessed right up. But that conversation soon led to some despair on his side. That soon led to some dismay, maybe a few tears. I won't publicly say that, but maybe hypothetically a few tears, and some kind of beating himself up, right? And one of the things that we talked about last night is I said, son, you got to realize, right? I'm 49 years old and I'm still screwing up every single day, right? It's not about being perfect. It's not about even being good. It's about being human, and being human means that you're constantly redoing, reevaluating, turning back, doing the things better than you did before. I don't know if that helped him or not. He was in a pretty rough situation last night, but it made me think today about the up and down nature of human nature, the up and down nature of all of us, that sometimes we wake up on the wrong side of the bed, if you will. Sometimes it's just a SHITTY day. It just happens that things just don't go the way that we do. I've had a few of those lately, right? Yesterday, I had one myself. Not a whole day, but I had something happen in the morning, completely unrelated to the appraisal business. But it was a smack in the face. Something that I had been planned, and I don't mean to be all shady. I don't have time to go into the detail. I don't mind sharing with you someday, but something that I had been planning for months kind of got derailed yesterday because of a government regulation that I wasn't aware of, and I got made aware of it, and it changed everything that I was working on. I thought, holy smokes, this is ridiculous. And I went through a down blue couple of hours, if you will. Well, here I am back at it. It's Tuesday, right? It's a new day. It's a new world. It's a new sunshine came up this morning, right? And I have an opportunity to choose differently. Folks, the advice that I would give you today, it's not profound. It's just a reminder from an old fat guy. You have a choice. One of the things I talked about with my son last night is he kept trying to blame other things, right? This happened, therefore, and his mother specifically said, that's not the problem. That might be an outgrowth of the problem, but the problem is deeper than that. You are choosing a certain thing, right? You can't look and say, appraisal work has dried up, therefore I'm sad. Therefore I'm mad, therefore I'm angry, therefore I'm not having a good day, right? The thing is only data, right? It's only information. The thing that you're blaming is inanimate. It is what it is. You, my friends, have the choice as to what you do with that. You want to talk about a positive place where appraisers come together to talk about all kinds of things. You're not going to be made fun of. You're going to be boosted up. You're having a bad day, come to our forum online, theappraisercoach.com. We love you. We will support you. We will help you. It's a great place to be. Check us out going to my website, theappraisercoach.com, and sign up for the All-Star team. Thank you, folks. Really been good to be with you, and go create some value.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.